Yeah, and that's another good caveat. Like, there's going to be a good all or nothing, and there's going to be a bad all or nothing. Yeah. And I think it just comes down to education in person.
We demonise the looking for 100%.
Yeah.
Instead of demonising, I'm just being a fat, lazy person.
Yeah. Welcome back to the PRJCT Podcast, where we talk all things health, fitness, and lifestyle. Did I fuck that up?
No, I think you just said it in a different order today.
No, surely not.
Maybe it's because you weren't looking in the camera today.
Yeah, I know. I got nervous. Health, fitness, and lifestyle. Anyway, I'm your host, Jack.
And I am Maddy.
Madeline, yeah.
Mel's the only one that...
Yuck, Madeline is gross. Sorry.
That was so mean. I can sing you the Madeline song.
I don't want you to.
That's really mean. I'm really good at it too.
Oh, yeah? Give us 3 lines. Give us 3 lines.
Didn't want
yeah,
it.
Pussy. Too scared. See that? She's too scared to be on the big stage.
Go on, you sing.
I'm a rapper, I'm not a singer.
Oh, sorry.
I'm a rapper, not a singer.
Can we get... This is when I want some, little clips just of you rapping.
Of my old interviews.
Yeah.
Not hard to find, Nick, if you want to have a search.
Anyway, what's been happening? Fill in the people.
Nothing too crazy lately. I've been cramming YoPros back like they're going out of fashion.
Really?
Yeah.
The Perform ones? Or just
just
normal
the fucking squeezy pouchies, like the baby food looking things.
Yeah, they're the best, aren't they?
Yeah, they're so easy, so convenient. And then still just drinking too much caffeine for my body.
Nice.
Probably drink like a gram of caffeine a day right now. Maybe more some days. What do I drink? 2 scoops of pre, which I think is 450 caffeine. And then at least...
All up?
Yeah, with the 2 scoops is 450. Yeah. And then I have at least 2 monsters, which are 160 each, which is 320. So that's 7, whatever that is, 8, 10, whatever the fuck it works out to be. Sometimes a 3rd monster. And I'll probably have a coffee at some point too. I
might actually die if I have that much.
That's why we are not the same. And that's why I'm built different.
Holy crap. I actually had my first bit of caffeine.
You're not allowed to, you're pregnant.
You're allowed to have caffeine.
Who told me you can't? They lied to me.
It was probably Mel.
Someone's lied to me.
Some people can't. Some people can't. And I have chosen not to, but mainly just because I was struggling with anxiety. It was just causing me to be really anxious through the first part of pregnancy. But you can. Some people can't. Like if they're worried about their baby having trouble with their heart and things like that.
Just make it stronger.
Probably not ideal.
Probably make it stronger.
But no, the kids stopped moving and I tried everything.
So you had a bit of caffeine?
Yeah, I did. Had a coffee.
Did it start moving?
Yeah.
Fucking defib.
Yeah.
You're going to defib for the baby. Fucking hell. That's wild.
And I just sat there and was like, oh, okay, you're all good. Yeah. If anybody comes at me for doing that, shut up, because it's really stressful when they tell you need to be counting kicks of the kid and then it stops.
I wouldn't count. I just tell them a random number. 78. That's too many. I'll say, 43.
But then also because I can feel where it's sitting now because it's so big, and so I'll
you gotta make him blind before he comes out.
No, I'll try and press to get some movement out of it, and nothing was working. Nothing. I couldn't coax this kid to move.
Yeah, well, you probably get sick of getting poked in the head.
Probably.
You're probably poking him in the head all the time, so he's moving, and then he's figured out when you want him to move, he's going to poke you in the head.
Shut up,
so
because in the last scan we had, this kid is facing up, it's bum down, and it's got its arms and its legs up over its head, and it's stuck right up here. And so sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like...
Because it's going to come out the same height as fucking Antetokounmpo. Fucking straight away from birth. The length of the hospital bed.
And it better play in the NBA.
Oh, yeah. It'll look like one of those little worms from Men in Black. You know, the ones that carry the guns?
Oh, gosh.
Fuck.
Yeah, anyway.
What's our topic today? Madeline.
This was your topic.
Yeah, okay, I'll tell them, I guess. Fucking whatever. I'll run the show. You can be the guest today. Topic is the all or nothing approach. So, the all or nothing approach being just going all in on something, or you're not. You're just absolutely 0% in on something. So, whether that be your training, fucking life in general, could be anything, realistically. And whether we think it is a good or a bad thing. I think we both have different opinions on this one. Potentially. Similar but different, maybe. So, I want your opinion first, since I had to introduce the topic.
Oh, okay. I am dependent on the person. For some, I feel it can be very dangerous. To be fair though, I think that comes from lack of education for some people. But then I know for myself, it has developed. So in the beginning, that all or nothing mindset or approach was really detrimental for me. But as I was just yo-yoing and in everything in life, like I was either in or not. But as I educated and like got better and learnt more, I can see where it has a place for me that is really beneficial. Do I think everybody can do it? No. Do I think it's beneficial for everybody? No. But there are times and seasons for it. I think it's just, it can get a little bit dangerous depending on the person and if they can't see potentially where it's going to lead or can't switch out of it easily enough. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I don't think it's inherently bad to be someone who's all in or not in at all. I think people look at it I think both are good, like whether you want to do the 80-20 approach or, you know, when you want to have that freedom, all that bullshit. Everyone wants the perfect life and you're not going to get it. You're not going to get that perfect balance between going out and doing your thing and committing to your goals. One's got to take precedence over the other. The percentage you give that is how well you will do at both. So if you're half going out, half trying to commit to your physique goals or something like that, you're going to look like shit probably. Not shit, but you're not going to look like
you're going to look half as good as what you could.
So I think the all-in approach or all or nothing approach can work for a lot of people, but I don't think a lot of people do it the right way. So I think a lot of people just think, you know, I've got to be fucking on my diet 100%. I've got to be training hard as fuck all the time. I've got to get my steps in. I've got to miss saying goodnight to my kids because I'm at the gym at 9 or 10 o'clock fucking getting steps on the treadmill. I don't think it has to be that. I think the all or nothing approach needs to be done in phases. So for example, like a fat loss phase, you might as well go all or nothing in a fat loss phase. Don't have your off-plan meals. Just fucking deal with it. Here's the thing that people don't realise. The more adherent you are in a fat loss phase in terms of not having off-plan meals and shit, the more calories, the quicker it's going to be, but also the more calories you're going to get the whole time. Like, we drop your calories if your adherence isn't good because we need to still create a deficit for you to fucking lose weight. The adherence part's on you, not a coach. Like a coach has nothing to do with your adherence. And if you're struggling to adhere, there's things that we can do. We can, you know, increase volume foods and things like that. But if you don't adhere, it's going to just take longer and longer and longer and longer, which is then going to probably damage you in the long run further and further and further. If you can get in and out 8, 12 weeks, if you don't have much to lose, if you've got a lot more to lose, it'll obviously be longer with probably some breaks in between, depending on case by case. But if you are in the mindset where you're just going to go all in, eat your meals, deal with it, you know, you can still go out with your friends, but you don't have to eat or drink. All that shit, you're going to be in and out. You're going to look good, you're going to feel good, you're going to be great. Then you can back that pedal off and move to an 80-20 split of things or move to a 70-30 split, like whatever you want to do. But then it goes to the flip side. If you've had, I don't know, for an extreme case, someone die in your family and you're very upset, it could be a close relative, friend, whatever, mum, dad, whatever. If you've had someone die and you're going to be, your head's not going to be in what your goals are. Your head's not going to be in training hard at the gym or eating your fucking mince and rice or whatever you want to eat, like, or eating your fucking wraps or whatever you're having for lunch. Like, your head's just not going to be in it. You're going to be upset, you're going to be grieving. The stress from that is obviously going to play on different things like hunger levels, cortisol, all that shit. So when that comes, that's when you could easily be like, well, the 80-20 approach still isn't going to fucking work because they're not even going to do that. So maybe we just take a break, take the foot off, go the nothing approach for a bit. You know, keep them there moving or training when they want to, when they feel like it. Give them a few weeks to grieve. And then as a coach, you should be like, all right,
it's time.
That's enough. It's time to get back on the ball again. But they just took 3 weeks of a nothing approach and probably didn't go backwards too far.
Yeah, that's true.
People think of everything as a short term. You got to look at it as a long term. I don't know. I think that it's not inherently a bad thing. I think there's a lot of bad stigma around it. I think it got demonized, like fucking same as salt. Salt got demonized back in the day and it's never recovered. I think the all or nothing approach has done the same thing. I think in something like a growth season or a growth phase, 80-20 split's perfect, or even a 90-10. Have one off-plan meal a week, be rigid for the rest of the week, but find food you like. You're going to be on more calories, you can fucking include food you like. You've got the ability to have shit you want to eat. I think, the all or nothing is it shows commitment, it shows determination, it shows that you're serious about what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, it won't work,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the same as diets. For
Yeah.
some people, keto won't work for you. It
Yeah.
might work to start with, but then it's not going to
But
work.
then it stops, yeah.
For some people, the Mediterranean diet won't work because you don't fucking like seafood.
Mm.
It's the same. It's the same as a diet. It's either going to work for some, it's going to not work for others.
Yeah.
The people it works for, it'll fucking work really well.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people don't realise. And I think more people are capable of it than what they would assume. So for me, I'm an all or nothing person in most cases. In this growth phase, I'm pretty much all or nothing.
I was going to say, because I don't even know if we were talking about it on the podcast, but we were talking about like whether you still tend to eat the same thing or allow off-plan meals in the growth phase. And you said, no, I pretty much stick to the same. Yes, I'll have a meal with my mates, but that's it. So I would say, realistically, you're probably pretty on.
Yeah, probably like 90-10
anyway.
in a growth phase. And that's the phase where you should get the most freedom. This is the phase where I could make my food fucking phenomenal. But I don't. Because it's quick, easy, it's simplistic for me.
Mm-hmm.
People want every fucking thing in the books. They want it to be easy, but they want it to taste good, but they want it to be healthy, but then they don't want it to be too healthy because then they think they're eating rabbit food, but then they want to be able to take it anywhere they can, but then they want to be able to heat it up, and if they can't heat it up on the go, then they're not going to eat it, so they're going to get Maccas instead, because that's hot.
Yeah.
Like
that's a completely different thing, but that argument always makes me laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So people want everything, sacrifice some things. I sacrifice probably a little bit of taste. I still put a little bit of sauce and stuff on it, and it's fine. Sacrifice a little bit of taste for convenience. Sacrifice a little bit of fucking convenience for time, I guess. Like, you know, if you want to make your meals all fresh, you're going to sacrifice that convenience for more time to do it. So there's a lot of, if you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of column A, column B, a little bit of column C even, if there's a column C, and you go all in, you're going to fucking be phenomenal with it. Like for me, an off-plan meal once a week is just enough to keep my cravings at bay. That with a Pepsi Max or a Monster. Like that is my thing. That'll keep me at bay.
Yeah, you're good.
But in saying that, I also don't necessarily need to have an off-plan meal a week either. Like if there was a weekend where I just want to stay in and just eat my meal prep, I would. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, you're not like banging for...
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for Saturday night so we can have a meal.
Yeah, so, and then same goes with things like my steps. So in a growth phase, I obviously still have a step count that I'm trying to hit. If I'm off by like 500 calories, I'm not too upset about it. 500 calories, 500 steps.
Yeah.
I'm not too upset about it. I couldn't really give a fuck. But when I'm in a diet phase, steps every day needs to be hit. If I have to get up an hour early to go for a walk, if I have to get up at 4 a.m. to walk to 5 a.m. to then go home and have brekkie and come into the office and do work for a full day, I'll fucking do it because I know it needs to be done. Training needs to be scheduled, needs to be done. If I've only got an hour, I'll make it work. I'll superset shit together and make it work. Like you gotta. I'm an all-in person. Personally, but that's just how I've always been. So
I think it just gets bad or it has the potential to get bad when people don't hit the all, and then they try and punish themselves for it. So I think that's when it becomes an issue, is like when you then go all the way the other way and try to punish yourself because you haven't hit this expectation of yourself. That's when I think it's an issue. But again, it's being realistic about what phase you're in. If, like you said, if you're dieting and you're trying to lose fat, freaking get in and get it done.
And that's
like, yes, you can have your cake and you can eat it too. It's dependent on the person. However, you and I are probably the same. Just get in, get it done. Sacrifice for a while.
It's gonna hurt for a bit.
Because you know that on the other side it's coming. It's probably because you haven't been adherent enough before that you have this warped perception of what it could be or should be. And that's why you go off track.
And that's where sorry, I was going to say the photo shoot that we do. That is the perfect example of an all or nothing approach working. Like you have to be all in. The people that are all in get the best results. I was all in on the photo shoot when I did it, the very first one. Lost 20 kilos in fucking 15 weeks. And I looked phenomenal. Like, because I went all in. I ticked every box. And that's just because that's who I am. But the flip side of that, all it takes is 1 week near the end of that photo shoot to make your physique look horrible. So it's very... And post photo shoot, I fucked my reverse up. And I'll come completely clean about it. But I fucked it up because I got food poisoning. So I never really thought the first meal I had post photo shoot, I got food poisoning. I was throwing up and I was really crook, so I couldn't actually enjoy anything. So by the time I could enjoy something, it fucking lingered out into the week after, and then I could only enjoy a little bit then because I was still trying to stay on plan. And then the week after, I had a little bit more because I felt like I didn't actually get that time to off. When I was back into the next goal. So that's how I fucked it up. But that isn't because of the all or nothing approach. That is just because I had something come up that was unforeseen. And it's the same as trigger warning. If I've got to give a trigger warning for this shit, EDs, we're not going to touch on it too much, but people that say the all or nothing approach will give them something like an ED, that's probably a bit fucking full on. Unless I am very much, and people can come for me about I couldn't give a fuck, but if you're in an all or nothing approach and you end up with an ED or something like that, chances are there's probably an underlying issue there as well.
I do agree with that.
The other
there's
chance
probably something
is
else there.
You might be too restrictive on that all or nothing approach. You can still be too restrictive on an all or nothing approach,
or for too long a time.
And if you so I think with just in like an overall scenario, if you find you have an ED or something like that from something like being all or nothing, even if you were 80-20, you probably still would have got it, because I guarantee if you were 80-20, when you had that 20% off plan meal on the weekend, you would have fucking felt guilty as fuck that you went off plan. That is already a sign.
Yeah, that's your mindset is not in the right spot.
It's not in the right spot. So being all in, if you're all in and you got one, you probably still would have got one being 80-20.
Regardless.
Because you still would have felt guilty. You still would have fucking gone off plan and felt like you were doing something wrong.
Yeah. And I think that comes back to like what we were saying is you've got to be aware and learn about the phases.
Yeah.
Learn about what phase you're in.
Yeah.
And you need to, I think it's important to dip your toes in the water, depending on the person. Some people recover really well and like they're fine, but I think for me, I had to dip my toes in the water to go, oh, okay, it is all right to have a couple of off-plan meals. I haven't felt guilty about them. It also hasn't impacted my results.
Yeah. Yeah.
And dipping the toes in there, sometimes I did feel guilty about it because I didn't really know, but you just sort of start to learn and get to know. So I think realising what phase you're in, having a set plan for that can be really good, and that's probably more of that all or nothing. But then on the flip side, having a plan for when you're not going to be there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be concrete of you have to hit this, you have to hit that, you need to do it every week, day in, day out. It's just at the moment, I'm allowing this or I'm allowing that. And this might be my one non-negotiable for that time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I think
people are too caught up in like not actually going through these different phases and allowing stuff. They're always trying to chase this like top level of execution and expectation on themselves instead of actually
everyone wants to look like C-Bum, but nobody does the work that that's the thing. I think that's where people think they can get that look and that physique by being half in, half out, which you can't. And I think the other thing is how serious are you about where you want to be? How serious are you about where you are right now?
Yeah.
How serious are you about what you want to sacrifice? Because at the end of the day, there's a sacrifice to every single thing that someone does.
Yeah,
whether
absolutely.
that is, being in a diet phase, you've probably got to sacrifice a bit of freedom with your friends in terms of food. When you're outside of a diet phase, sacrifice is probably what your physique looks like by going out more with your friends and socialising. There is never going to be a perfect balance. It's literally just a seesaw of up and down.
But, that's right.
Yeah.
I think too, people probably don't put enough emphasis, and you might not agree with this because you're just freaking get it done.
Yeah.
But I do think that mindset behind it is important, no matter what stage you're in. And I don't think people take enough note, and they probably push down a little bit too much and don't see their own warning signs of when things could be an issue and when potentially they're doing too much and pushing for too many things instead of going, this is my priority, this is the time and season for this, and then taking a step back and going, okay, I'll now sacrifice this to go and work on something else.
I agree. But I'm also very much of the same mindset that your mindset will develop and evolve with you. So
Yeah,
when you were
I
a
agree.
kid and you touched the stove and it was hot, you said, fucking hell, I'm not going to touch the stove again. That was pretty hot.
I definitely didn't say that in my house.
Oh, I didn't either. I was too young. I got smacked in by my dad. In my head, I was probably saying, gee whiz, it's a bit fucking... not even fucking. Gee whiz, it's a bit hot. But then I learnt not to touch a hot stove. So people don't know their threshold until they push the threshold.
Yeah, that's
and I
true.
think that's another thing. Once you push that threshold of your mindset and you realise, oh, fuck, I actually might have just pushed it too far, that's when you can pull it back into where
and instead of
pulling
going...
it back, that's not 100% when you've pushed it too far. That's 110%. Let's pull it back to here and that's 100%.
That's
you
true.
need to find that threshold before you can...
And then you
before
don't...
you know where the ceiling is.
It's not even going... So, like, say this is all, this is nothing, but then on the other hand is all again. You go from this end of all to the other side of the spectrum to all, but in complete reverse.
That's it. Like,
Instead of just bringing it back that 10% to giving 100 instead of 110.
Yeah. So you've got all being like chasing physique goals, your dream body. You've got nothing being not doing anything to chase that, but just cruising through life. And you've got all, the deficit all, which will be fucking eating like a fucking
getting
chungus
fat.
and getting fat again.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing that...
Undoing the hard work that you've done plus more.
Yeah, and that's another good caveat. Like, there's going to be a good all or nothing, and there's going to be a bad all or nothing. Yeah. And I think it just comes down to education in person.
We demonise the looking for 100%.
Yeah.
Instead of demonising, I'm just being a fat, lazy person.
Yeah. And
that goes for anything. That's not just your health and fitness. That goes for where you are in business, what you're doing with your family, like how you're approaching any area of your life. That is not just health and fitness.
100%.
It's an interesting concept, and I can definitely see where in my life I have been and that's probably a really good way actually of describing that. Like, I've been at that point where I've done everything according to the challenge that I was on. I did it all. I weighed it all out. I did every class that I was meant to. I did this. I did that. But I had probably pushed it to the 110, and instead of just bringing it back down, I went all the way the other side. But then, like, doing the shoot, it had to be at that level 100, and honestly had to push to the 110%. But I could see where it was going to go, and on the flip side, probably did go too far the other way. But have learned from that experience.
And that's
have learned, and now I know. Okay, this is the threshold of when I know I need a break, or I know that I need to do something, or I need to work on my mindset, or I need to do something. Instead of going. All the way
that's I think some people like that all or nothing. Some people want to jump head first into it and fucking just attack it. You look at all these people that want to do, 6, 8, 10 week challenges. They just want to get in, get it done. The thing about all or nothing is how long can you sustain an all or nothing for?
That's a good point.
That's when it comes back to phases of all or nothing. But that's how I see it.
And that's the exact thing. Like, how long can you sustain the all that you're looking at? Or the all that you have written down on paper? For some people, that's going to be 1 week. For some, it's going to be 6. For some, it's going to be 6 months. But you've got to be realistic about what that all is that you can give and where the sacrifice is going to come later on. And that's probably where a lot of people fall into a bit of a pit, is they're not realistic about how long they can sustain it. Because even 6-week challenges, 8-week challenges, they have a place. They will work. Trust me. But the reason that people fall off them is because they're not prepared for that.
They go 100?
100.
They go nothing. They don't go like a maintenance. They don't go nothing. They just go 100 to 100. They just yo-yo through
and
it.
People are really scared. Like, I was having this conversation with a client today. They're really scared of the maintenance period. Of not
People are scared of increasing calories and not having something to work towards. That's like when you reverse a client. And they've been in a deficit, they might be on 1,500 calories, and then you're like, we're going to reverse you, maybe get you to 2,200 calories. You'll be
and
they're like, that's more food, I can't fucking eat that, I'll get fat. But it's like, you won't. It's your body's going to be used to it.
You also just haven't sat yourself in that phase for enough time to see that you can eat and not put on weight.
And then it's like, well, okay, if you come to me and you're overweight, you've obviously sat in a fucking surplus for a long enough time.
Trust me, you haven't eaten.
You got comfortable in that place, but there was obviously a point at the end of where you were comfy in being in a surplus, that you're now uncomfy with the way you look. So you've got to the uncomfy of that. So now let's find the uncomfy of something else and learn to be comfortable in that.
Yeah.
Let's find the uncomfy of a maintenance and learn to be comfortable with that. And then we can set the next goal from there. I think that's very important.
I truly think as a female as well that, and I hate this because I feel like there is a lot on social media about it and it's being overdone. You need to be in a maintenance phase. If you're overweight, you probably don't need to be in a maintenance phase. If you're unhealthy and like your overall health, like there's markers that are not under control, you need to drop the weight.
Yeah.
Like your body isn't coping.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
No, you don't need to sit at maintenance. You need to get in train. You need to lose some weight.
Yeah.
And then you have, I don't want to say earned the right, but then you've earned the right to learn that next step.
Yeah.
But
it's a journey for the most part too. People want it to be short, sharp and quick. It's not.
It's not.
It's a journey.
No, it's a long term. I wish I understood that. Yeah, I think that we do underestimate that, you know, sitting in the not the nothing zone, but the grey zone, instead of it just being black or white, sitting in that grey zone of just training for fun, not particularly focusing on anything, just, you know, and you can have a coach at this. This is when people lose their coach. They're like, oh, I don't really need you anymore. This is probably when you need them the most, is when you just need to have little things to look forward to, or to make sure that you're not going backwards, and that you are making little progressions, but you don't have to be making huge leaps forward in progress either. It's okay to sit. Some people are not okay with that, and I don't think you as a person are probably okay with sitting completely still. Like you naturally will. I've
sort of always got something I want to work towards, but at the same time, even like in the last deficit phase, we did a diet break period where I kept pushing my calories up for like 4 or 5 weeks, and just kept pushing them up and up until I got to a point we sat there for a week. So it was like, I think it ended up being 4 to 6 weeks of me on higher calories and not in a deficit, and I just sat there. And then I went back into the deficit because I know that my body needed it. Did I like it? Not really, but you know it's important to the job at hand. So I don't know. I think if there will be a day where I do just sit at a maintenance like for a long time, because I'll be enjoying myself
and train maybe 3 times a week.
Fat chance. 4 to 5 at least. I'll never train 3 times a week. Honestly, even when I did the half marathon, I trained weights 4 times a week and did 3 runs a week. The whole time.
Crazy.
So I just don't know how to stop, which is dumb. Don't do what I do. But if you want to do what I do, I can coach you.
Yeah.
So.
And you'll eat a bunch of food.
Yeah.
You can have that, but you're going to have to eat some food.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many ways you can go about it. And there are so many people that have popped into my head. They're like, you're going to listen to this and be like, nah, don't agree. Or I do agree, or whatever it is. But I think the main thing is you need to educate yourself, but you also need to action the education that you're taking in. Yeah. Don't just say, I know what I need to do, but I can't do it. Freaking do it.
Yeah. Well, at least try. And most people don't even try.
Give it
like,
a crack.
That's fucking too hard. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
it's like, well, it's not hard when you do it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and actually back yourself.
Yeah.
Like, back yourself and go, yeah, all right, this is what I'm doing, and commit. There's a very big lack of commitment from a lot of people in general. Just with anything that they try. Like a lot of people that are just scared of failing and scared it'll go wrong, so they just do nothing. Like, why not just give something a crack and change it rather than being all or nothing, I guess. You know.
But that's our opinion.
Yeah, pretty actually short and sharp for us.
That's a first.
Yeah, I know.
Normally we go on 500 tangents. Today we've gone on like 2 maybe.
I don't even think that.
You feeling alright? You sick?
No.
Pregnant.
Fine, just pregnant.
That's a sickness.
Just pregnant.
That's a sickness.
Feels like a sickness. Yeah.
Fuck it up.
I know. It's crazy times. What are you going to do when I actually have a kid?
When you have one?
Yeah.
Probably the same thing I do right now and not talk to it. Until I can talk back.
And not make any comment, not even look at it.
I've only just started talking to Eli.
That's actually probably fair.
Yeah. I don't talk to kids when they can't talk back. Because I just feel like a fucking idiot. Because what are they thinking in their head? This fucking idiot is talking to me.
Oh, you're so cute.
What do you think? If I could move my tongue properly and I had a voice box properly, I would tell him to fuck off. But it doesn't. Because it can't. It just goes... and then that's him saying, you're a fucking idiot, Jack, for talking to me.
This is a real random topic. Only because I think of this. We told my mum the name of our baby if it's a boy. And she looked at me and was like, are you having me on? I fully laughed in my face because she was like, I don't think that's the name that you would have chosen. Anyway, I was kind of upset by it. I don't think she knew that, but I couldn't tell her my girl name if we have a girl because I'm so worried. Like, the girl name is so precious to me. Yeah. I've had that there for a long time.
Don't tell her. Tell her a fake one.
No. Well, I didn't. I said, you're going to have to wait for the girl name now if it's a girl. Like, you just don't get to know that.
You just ruined it.
Yeah, you've ruined it. But this is a question for you because I'm really interested to know. Yeah. Like, obviously, there are some weird names out there.
Yeah.
What is a name that you think I would name my kid? Like, what can you see?
I don't think there's anything too peculiar that you would name your kid, just from background.
Yeah.
So from background, I think you would still be kind of traditional. Yeah. The only thing I can think of is if you have a boy and you name it a unisex name.
Oh, there you go.
Like Ashley.
Yeah, no.
Something like that, like a unisex name. I think that's when your mum would be like, that's not what I thought.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I think.
Yeah, interesting.
But I don't think anything weird. Like, you're not going to call it fucking Axel.
Imagine if that was the name.
Imagine if it was. I'd be like,
don't worry.
Maddie, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, that was your pregnant brain talking. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Or like I've got a boy's name list in my phone. Not really.
So obviously you're not having girls either.
Well, I actually would like a girl and a boy.
Oh yeah.
As a kid.
Yeah.
I just want a boy because it will carry on my family name.
Oh yeah.
And I'm the last person in my family that can have that could have a boy.
Yeah.
So I think I'd want a boy just to carry on my family name. But otherwise, I guess I'll just take what I get.
Yeah.
I guess. But,
yeah,
I've got like a couple boys' names, couple girls' names. Even though I'm not having kids ever. But they're just there.
But they're just there for in case.
They're just there in case.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll adopt one that's 17. Like right before they're like allowed to go free. And then... So
I only have to support it for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
And then I'll change its name in the process. And then, perfect.
That's so funny.
But, yeah, I've got a couple that are like... I'm very like much like... I like basic names, like popular names, but there's a couple like outliers that people wouldn't think.
Yeah, there you go.
I've got one, starts with J. But, I heard it's a guy's name who is on a podcast that Emily listens to. I was like, that name's sick.
That's
if I have
the best.
a boy, that's what I'll call it.
Yeah,
and she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I was like, you don't get a choice. If we have a boy, that's what I'm calling it. So, but I'm not having kids, so it doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Yeah.
See, we told Mum it's a really strong name. Yeah. Like, it's a very strong name when Zeus? You say it. No.
Hercules.
No, yeah. That's the one. No, but we said it was
Eddie Hall.
James is a very, like, strong middle name.
Yeah.
And that's something in our family. Like, my dad's brothers, he has 9 brothers. They all have my grandpa's name as their middle name.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. He's one of 10. And the girl was adopted too. She's hilarious. She's so funny. Auntie Ray. Even you would crack up with Auntie Raya. Absolutely. She's a psycho.
My favourite.
She'd just be like, oh, yeah, from retard. That's how she speaks.
I'd say the same thing.
Yeah. But then in my family, like, I have my mum's name as my middle name and the boys have my dad, and I really like that tradition. So James would be the middle name if we had boys.
So you'd have to have a stronger first name.
Yeah.
Does it start with J, the first name?
No.
I was going to say JJ.
No. But I have always thought about a nickname.
Really?
Yeah.
Start with L? A?
No.
Fuck, I'm not going to get it.
No, I don't think anyone will guess it.
X?
No.
I was going to say Xavier.
No.
That's very off-brand for you, though. What's in the Bible? Yeah. Surely there's a Bible name that is it in the Bible? Is it Moses? Oh.
Moses James? No, it's not a Bible
MJ,
name.
that's
MJ! Oh, stop.
I just changed the whole name.
Stop.
Yeah, MJ.
That might have, only because they're on James' basketball team. There is an MJ.
Yeah.
He'll never listen to this, so that's fine. I'm his number 2 fan because one of the coaches is his number 1. We've decided. But I'm definitely one of his number 1 fans. Yeah. And his name is MJ.
See?
That's
MJ,
fair.
MJ, that's pretty good. Moses James. That's sick.
That is not our name.
Fuck.
You'll just have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I will. Probably something dumb like John James.
John
James. I'm just thinking of Bible names.
No, it's not a Bible name.
Jesus. God.
I'm pretty sure
Mary.
James actually did bring that name up.
God.
No, Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesus James.
Fuck, that's
It was a
funny.
firm no.
That's fucking hilarious.
Firm no.
What else is there? I don't know any other fancy Bible names.
It's because it's not a Bible name.
Oh.
I said that 3 times.
Yeah, but I don't believe you.
Yeah, no, it's
You're
not.
a fucking Bible basher, so.
And on that note, guys, we are going to finish.
We're going to finish there.
We are out. But thank you very much for listening once again. We've been going for a little while now, and we definitely didn't think that we would get so many listens and so many views, so it's really good.
Yes.
We do very much appreciate it. But yeah, you can find us both at Project on Instagram, transform _ Maddy with a Y and Jack with a K.
With a J.
With a J. Sorry, with a J. But yeah, we are putting out a lot of content on our Facebook page, and please do like and subscribe.
I'm trying to look up how to say this word because it's goodbye in a different language.
And you can't get it.
It's not playing the sound.
He's not prepared. Just try and pronounce it without hearing it.
Palam.
Palam. What language is it in?
Filipino.
I don't know.
Well, I think it's wrong, so we're going to find something easier. We'll keep
talking. Oh, okay. Well, please do like and subscribe because we do really appreciate all the love. And yeah, just let us know if you want to talk about anything in particular.
A classic one.
Here we go.
I got one. We'll wait till
Jack's ready to finish now.
Anyway, no, you got to say goodbye. I got to finish off with it.
I said goodbye.
Did you?
I also did your handle.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
said, where they can find you.
Well, guys, aloha.
It took me freaking 5 minutes to say goodbye, and that's what you came up with. Okay,
now it's clear. What the fuck is going on there?
Okay, Stitch, you're out.
That's fucking funny.
That's a really good movie as a side note.
Yeah, it is.
That is a good quality movie. Anyway, thank you for listening, guys. See ya.
Bye.